In this video, I will be drawing the guardian and spirit beast of every kakine princess. Sorry guys, I forgot to save the footage of the King Natsumi Nen beast. So I will be not able to show the exact process, but it was quite interesting to say the least. The most difficult part of drawing King Natsumi's Nen beast was the shadow and the detail. Other than that, the basic structure was actually quite easy and gobbler, so it was not that difficult to draw. The other thing that gave me a little bit of difficulty in drawing King Natsumi's guardian and spirit was the amount of detailing, and I accidentally gave an extra arm on the left side. So my bad for that, but other than that, I present you the guardian and spirit of King Natsumi right here. Next up, the first Prince Benjamin. His Nen guardian spirit was actually rather simple. The most difficult part in drawing the Nen guardian spirit is usually their geometry or their anatomy, but it was actually surprisingly easy. The actual difficult part was to maintain the proportions of the ab and the waist, which I somehow managed to mess up. And because of this, the waist is the same size as the chest, which annoys me a lot. Other than that, the arms were rather easy. The details in the legs was quite easy. One minor detail which I would like to add on is the amount of spikes coming out of his chest. That was rather weird. Initially, I forgot to draw them, so I had to switch a pen which has a bit more of an ink flow in it. Because of that, the spikes are a lot more darker than the rest of the body. Also, for the wings, I don't know whether it is a wing or a cloak, but I drew it in a similar fashion of the cloak, and according to the wiki, it is more of a wings than a cloak. But because it fashioned its wings in a similar manner to a cloak, I drew it like a cloak. As for the shadows of the cloak were rather difficult, and for the pelvis, I decided to just thicken the border a little bit, and the shading was rather easy. A little bit of annoyance to me was the head, and I overcomplicated it for no reason, because of which the details were lost. Other than that, I present you the guardian and spirit of the first Prince Benjamin. The next I decided to draw is the Nen guardian spirit of the Prince Camilla. I don't know whether to call it prince or the princess, but according to the wiki, all the prince and princesses of the Kakine Empire are called the same, aka a prince. So I guess I'm going to draw the Nen guardian spirit of the Prince Camilla. I also decided to add on the Nen ability of the Prince Camilla, because her Nen ability also takes the shape of a beast. A fun fact, the Prince Camilla Nen ability is actually a part of post-mortem Nen. That is why it is so strong. And it takes the shape of a cat, which sucks the life energy out of its prey. And the prey in question in this situation is the person who managed to remove Princess Camilla from the picture itself. So whosoever tried to remove Princess Camilla from the picture gets his life energy sucked out of his body by this huge ass cat. Anyway, her Nen guardian spirit was rather easy, and it reminded me of sea anemone for some reason. It also seems to have some sort of head on top of it, which was rather interesting. Overall, it was quite easy, and here I present the Nen guardian spirit and the Nen ability of Princess Camilla. Next, I decided to draw the Nen guardian spirit of Saraitnik, which is rather an interesting character if you ask me. No offenses, and I know what he did in the manga, but still, he is rather interesting because of his Nen ability, which is basically just like King Crimson from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Wait, does that mean Saraitnik is a JoJo's reference? Anyways, Saraitnik's Nen ability actually allows him to see 10 seconds in the future, and during those 10 seconds, time doesn't pass for him, and he needs to do this ability in the state of Zetsu. Also, just like his sister Camilla, Saraitnik also has his own Nen beast, but it is not the part of post-mortem Nen. Instead, he needs to put himself in a state of Zetsu for this. The name of the Nen beast is actually revealed, and it's called Dave. As for the Nen beast itself, it has a mouth within its mouth, and the secondary mouth emits two very strange objects, which I think is the tongue, a bifurcated tongue to be specific, and the bifurcated tongue is rather poisonous, so if it touches you, you are going to get mutated into some sort of weird monstrosity. And the beast itself resembles its image in what I can say is a demonic horse. Yeah, that is the most pleasant way to say it, otherwise the YouTube is going to ban me. Other than that, the rather drawing part of the Nen beast was quite easy. The most difficult part, in my opinion, is going to be the shadow, which I need to do in Dave. Yeah, the guardian spirit is actually quite easy. Dave is the one which is rather difficult to draw in this case. Other than that, here I present the Nen guardian spirit and the Nen beast of Prince Saraitnik. Next, I decided to draw the Nen guardian spirit of Prince Sail. I don't like the character of Prince Sail, but his Nen guardian spirit looks like Weezing, and Weezing is one of my favorite Pokemon. So yeah, I guess I like the guardian spirit more than Prince Sail. The guardian spirit was actually quite easy to draw, and its ability is to emit a type of smoke or gas which makes you completely subservient to Prince Sail, which is quite broken to be honest. So to be honest, the most difficult part of drawing the Prince Sail Nen Guardian Spirit was the teeth. Because I accidentally make them a bit too far apart and now they look creepy to me. Also, the clouds were rather difficult for me to draw. I needed to add shade, otherwise it would look more like some sort of speech bubble. But other than that, the actual drawing was quite easy and I enjoyed drawing this. So here I present the Nen Guardian Spirit of Prince Sail. Hope you like it. Next, I decided to draw the Nen Guardian Spirit of Prince Tyson. So a thing I noticed while doing this series is that some of the princes are having some of the most majestic, complicated and interesting designs in their Guardian Spirit, while others are rather simplistic. But then again, drawing fatigue is real, so I'm not going to complain here. So the Nen Guardian Spirit itself looks like a hot air balloon and it collects the Nen of the people who are under its effect. It also emits these little tadpole humanoid type of creature, which are the actual way it affects the people. So whoever they attach to gets their Nen sucked up and all the Nen get collected inside the Guardian Spirit. Also, the only way you can get infected is if you know about or have already read the Book of Tyson, which is basically Bible, but it is written by Tyson and it's about how love can cure everything. To draw this was quite easy and there was no necessary shading I need to do other than to make the border a little bit more stand out than the rest of the paper. But yeah, it was actually one of the most easiest drawing which I have done. A bit more difficult than the Prince Saleh's Guardian Spirit because of the tadpoles and all. But yeah, after nailing the proportions of the tadpole, it was actually quite easy. And I hope you like it. So here I present the Guardian Nen Spirit of Prince Tyson. Hope you like it. Next, I decided to draw the Nen Guardian Spirit of Prince Zhang Li. So a little fun fact, the name Zhang Li is directly taken from a very successful stock market investor from China. The fun part is that the Guardian Spirit itself is based on the principle of long-term investment and returns. So the ability of the Guardian Spirit is to produce a coin from it. Every day it produces one coin and a person needs to hold on to that said coin for a certain amount of time. And after a certain amount of time, the person holding on to the coin awakens a Nen and their Nen ability. And I'm going to be honest, while drawing this I mess up the proportions, but I somehow was able to fix it. But because of the bad proportions, I need to show it from a lower perspective. Because of which the aura coming from the bottom is a lot more than the aura coming from the top. Also because of the circular shape, it was rather difficult to draw and I needed to draw multiple circles over and over again. Anyway, here I present you the Nen Guardian Spirit of Prince Zhang Li. Next, I decided to draw the Nen Guardian Spirit of Prince Tuepa. So Prince Tuepa's Nen Guardian Spirit looks like a tank, a car, a jeep, a frog, a chameleon, a lizard, and it has a bunch of spikes on it. The most difficult part of drawing this was actually to start how to draw and from where to draw. So once I figured out that I need to draw from the face, I was actually able to draw it rather easily. The face was a bit too difficult and clumsy, but the rest of the body was quite easy. Another difficult thing was to do the shading on those spikes and to do these small details of the small circular shapes all over its body. The scaly look was rather difficult to draw on it, and the spikes needed to have a very specific amount of shading, and I needed to cover my mess ups which I accidentally drew while drawing it. Other than that, I hope you like how it turns out to be, and here I present you the Nen Guardian Spirit of Prince Tuepa. Next, I decided to draw the Nen Guardian Spirit of Prince Kacha and Fugetsu. So the fact that Prince Kacha and Fugetsu are twins makes their Nen Guardian Spirit rather a unique case, because of which they both can see each other's Nen Guardian Spirit. So their Nen Guardian Spirit initially takes form as a door, while the other end takes shape of a manhole. But after removal of Prince Kacha from the story, her Nen Guardian Spirit change its ability and takes form of her. So I'm going to be honest, this is the most difficult Nine Guardian Spirit to draw, and you might think, bro, it is just a door with some sort of embroidery on it. Bro, I am not good in terms of drawing door and in terms of drawing doors with embroidery on them. So yeah, it was actually quite difficult for me. In fact, it was so difficult that I needed to switch the page I was initially drawing it and turn over to a next one. It was so difficult that I needed to switch the page I was initially drawing it. As for Prince Kacho, I'm drawing Prince Kacho the last time we saw her because her Nen Guardian Spirit looks identical to her. I present you the Nen Guardian Spirits of Prince Kacho and Fugetsu. Next, I decided to draw the Nen Guardian Spirit of Prince Luzuru. So, the Nen Guardian Spirit itself was not that difficult to draw. It was actually quite fun. Not the easiest, but also a little bit difficult. The difficult part, in my opinion, was to one, draw these little cheetah imprints on it. And without the marker, it would be quite a mess for me, but fortunately I did have a marker. The second part was to distinguish between the two different colors of beads. So the upper bead in its body is purple in color and the lower one is brown in color. And it was quite difficult to show in just black and white, so I just increased the amount of shading in the lower bead, hoping you will figure out the difference. Other than that, I present you Prince Luzuru's Guardian Nen Spirit. Hope you like it. Next, I decided to draw the Nen Guardian Spirit of Prince Momose. The difficult part was that there was no proper full body shot of Prince Momose's Guardian Spirit, so I needed to take an educated guess on how it actually looks based on the manga depiction. Now, how the Guardian Spirit works is quite interesting. It asks a target whether they are free or not. If they say no, it implants a small version of itself into the target. If the target says yes, the small version or the big version places this weird teddy bear spider like creature inside the ear, which crawls into their brain and forces them to attack anyone close to them. So funny thing, while drawing it, I forgot to draw the paws of the rat, so I needed to redraw them. I just grabbed my marker and do my best, because of which the legs and the feet actually don't look the best in this one. Anyway, I show you the Nen Guardian Spirit of Prince Momose. I hope you like it. Then I decided to draw the Nen Guardian Spirit of Prince Hawkingbug. So Prince Hawkingbug Guardian Spirit was actually the second most difficult of them all to draw for me, and the attempt you are watching me is actually the third attempt. Yes, I already destroyed two different pieces of paper while trying to draw this monstrosity. It was really difficult for me to draw. The proportions of head quite messed around my own head, and I have to say, this one was a very tough cookie. But I was even tougher, so I didn't give up and I was somehow able to do this. Now I will admit the proportions of the hand, arm, chest and the head itself is a little bit off than the original, and it doesn't look as great as the original one. But then again, I am not an artist and this was my best attempt. And I will agree with you, this is not my best shot in this one, but this is the one I was able to do. Now while drawing this, I forgot to draw those small spike like things in the head of the Guardian Spirit. So I just took my marker and redo them, because of which it looked a little bit more ugly. And I will say this was difficult, like difficult. But anyways, I hope you like it, and please don't bully me in the comments for drawing it so bad. Anyways, I present you the Prince Hawkingbug's Nen Guardian Spirit. Lastly, I decided to draw the Nen Guardian Spirit of Prince Marayama. Now, I will admit that there is Prince Volborg, but because we never saw Prince Volborg's Nen Guardian Spirit in the manga, I will not be drawing it in this series. If in the future we got the depiction of Prince Volborg's Nen Guardian Spirit, I will be drawing it again and adding on to this video. But for now, I am ending this series in Prince Marayama's Nen Guardian Spirit. So Prince Marayama Nen Guardian Spirit actually changes its form rather notoriously. In first depiction, it has multiple legs like a centipede and head of a dragon. In second depiction, it was rather buffed and quite big, so I was unable to draw those two ones. And in the next depiction to that, the third depiction, it was like a giant gorilla with a dragon skull, bull's horn, and possibly the tail of a shark. I was unable to see it correctly, but this is my best detection. The Guardian Spirit was actually quite easy to draw. As for the tentacles and tendrils coming out of it, I needed to put my marker on once again on the job, because that was the easiest way to depict it without messing around the actual sketch itself. Anyway, I also use the marker to enhance the borders and the shadings. I hope you like how it turns out to be. Honestly, it was quite fun and it was rather easy. And here I present you the Grand Guardian Spirit of Prince Mariamang. Thank you so much for sticking around for so long. I hope you enjoyed this video. If not, then doesn't matter. I'm going to upload more videos similar to this one in both the short form content and the long form content. If you are new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. If you like the video, make sure to like. If you don't like the video and don't like my drawing, then comment what you don't like about my drawing and what should I improve. Thanks for watching. Bye.